Yes, hi everyone. It's Cax Isaac Egesa again, doing an interview about culture. So the interview I'm doing today, I'm doing an online interview because the person I'm interviewing is from Canada. So the first week of our interview, I interviewed Charity um, on ethnicity, and last week I interviewed Ash on age and gender. So today I'm interviewing Krista Barnes-Lore on culture. So you're welcome, Krista Barnes.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, are you ready for my interview today?
Yep.
So the first question I want to ask you about culture. What is the best and the worst thing about living in Canada? What do you have to say about that?
I would say the best thing about living in Canada is probably the general happiness of everybody of the people that are living here. It's a pretty positive country to live in, and we have free health care, and free schooling. So going to school up until graduating is always free, and healthcare, any medical issues are free. The worst thing I would say is just like political conversations that are happening right now, that it's hard. Like, a lot of people are really divisive on their opinions nowadays, so it's hard to not offend anyone by sharing their opinion.
Okay, thank you for answering the first question. So the second question I'm asking you is what is considered the most respectful in your culture?
Well, Canadians are known as being very polite and kind people. So just off of maybe going off of all Canadians, I would say just like the way that we are is very polite. So it's really respectful for us to say sorry. And it's funny, or people maybe make fun of Canadians a lot because you just walk by someone and say, "Oh, sorry," and you're like, "No, it's okay," but you didn't even do anything wrong. So I think respectful, and because it's so common here, if you don't behave that way, or maybe don't say sorry or hold the door open for people automatically just assume you're kind of rude. But we grow up doing those things, so maybe that.
Okay, that's good. So I wanted to know something about education in Canada, because I think it's totally different with the education here in Uganda. So how is education handled there?
What kind of education? Like, you mean school, like primary level and high school?
Yes, please. Primary, high school, and maybe college, university. How is it there?
Education is taken very seriously here. I can only speak for the province of Alberta that I live in. I know that how the system works here, but I know each province is a little bit different. But like I said before, kindergarten to grade 12 is paid for and free by the government. So that is very nice. People are able to send their children to school, and you have to send them to school. That or either school, but they have to be registered, and if they aren't studying, people can report them to the government.
Oh.
So it's taken very seriously, but it's nice that it is paid for. And then for university and college, optional, quite expensive, but also taken pretty seriously. Like, there are a lot of job opportunities here. So with your school credentials and everything, you can get a job.
Okay. Wow. I'm glad to hear that. So the fourth question I would ask you is You're working, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please describe the work environment or culture in which you are most productive and happy?
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, like, how is your work schedule? Like, does it make you happy? Do you like it?
Oh. Yeah, so I currently work as a nanny, a full-time nanny, and it is quite busy. I work most days of the week, but I really enjoy it because I find a lot of flexibility in that. So maybe that's the work environment I'm most happy in is like when I can work hard, but I also have a lot of flexibility, which maybe sounds like everyone wants in today's culture and whatever, but I have time with the kids to go out and do fun activities or just to enjoy the summer, go to the beach and break hard. So I find most of my days I get to be like a kid again, which is fun for me.
Wow. Is the pay still the same as Uganda? Because us here in Uganda, our pay is monthly. Do you also get paid monthly, or it's different?
Most jobs here you're paid bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. And we get paid per hour throughout the week.
Oh, so every hour is counted at some amount you get, the wage? Oh.
Yes.
For us here, it's a set amount of salary. For example, you work for a full month and they just give you 500 or 400 shillings. So you might not know even how much you're working an hour, or sometimes you work more hours and you still get paid the same. Or some days when you don't work, you get paid the same. So that is kind of different. For you get paid by your hour, which means maybe, to give an example, in a month, if you don't work for like 2 days, you don't get paid for those 2 days, those hours that you missed.
Yeah, but most jobs, like if you're on a regular full-time schedule, you get paid for sick days or days. You have certain days or holiday days that you can take in as you're getting paid, but you only get a certain amount of those. So once you've used those, then you don't get paid for the days you're missing.
Oh, wow. It's good to know that. It's good to know how different cultures do their stuff. I have one last question to ask you. I'm sure you've traveled. You've traveled to some countries. You've been to Africa. You've been to South America. So what would you say is different from Canada, the Canadian culture, and the culture in Africa, like Uganda, or somewhere else you've traveled? What is different? And what do you... Everything is different. Like, what do you like most from here? And what do you hate most from here? If it's fine for you to share that, you're welcome to share that.
I think that question could never end.
Just share for us, just in 3 minutes.
I love the environment in Uganda or in Africa, and just maybe the slow pace of life that people are on, because here in the Western culture, people are very busy and going to work and like always in a hurry to get somewhere else. But in Uganda, everything just seems to move slower, which at first, or like sometimes when I'm there, can really, really irritate me, because people are late for everything, or people don't respond, or people like, it can be taken in a way of disrespect, because here that's disrespectful. But also, it's really nice to just slow down life and to look at everything like I don't have to rush to always doing. So that's one thing I love there, and I struggle when I come home from Africa, because I'm still living in that space of mind, and I end up being late for everything when I come home. Of course, there's lots of other things, like I could say the people are so kind in Uganda and very welcoming and hospitable. And that's the most part in Canada, that people are very kind, and there still are hospitable people, but for the most part, a lot of people now keep to themselves. I think it just has to do with the busyness of life. People don't often have a lot of time for other people.
Ah.
So that's another thing I love about Uganda.
Okay. That's all you have to share.
Well, do you want me to share something else? I don't know.
Would you live in would you prefer living in Uganda or Canada, or which other country would you prefer, like, settling? You'll be like, oh, if I settle in this country, I would feel good.
I would love to live somewhere near the ocean, in a place that's warm all the time. But of course, there are things that I love about Canada and things I love about Uganda, but things that are hard about both. So my ideal situation would be to split my time between the two. But of course, there are times when I'm in Uganda that it just gets really hard, frustrating, and I wish I was home in Canada, and times in Canada that I wish I was in Uganda. So I would love the best of both worlds situation.
Oh, thank you so much. Those are the questions I wanted to ask you. I would ask you more, but due to timing, I would let you go. Thank you so much for answering these questions, and I like the perspective that you've shared with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for interviewing me.
May God bless you and keep you well.
Amina.
Okay, stay blessed.
You too.
Bye-bye.